जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय कलियुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion from the Bhagavad Gita. We are on chapter 2, text number 22. So I'll recite the shloka. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani ghrannati naroparani तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि। Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Change of body by the atomic individual soul is an accepted fact. Even the modern scientists who do not believe in the existence of the soul, but at the same time cannot explain the source of energy from the heart, have to accept continuous changes of body, which appear from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth, and again from youth to old age. From old age, the change is transferred to another body. This has already been explained in the previous verse. Transference of the atomic individual soul to another body is made possible by the grace of the super soul. The super soul fulfills the desire of the atomic soul as one friend fulfills the desire of another. The Vedas, like the Mundaka Upanishad, as well as the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Compare the soul and the super soul to two friendly birds sitting on the same tree. One of the birds, the individual atomic soul, is eating the fruit of the tree, and the other bird, Krishna, is simply watching his friend. Of these two birds, although they are the same in quality, one is captivated by the fruits of the material tree, while the other is simply witnessing the activities of his friend. Krishna is the witnessing bird, and Arjuna is the eating bird. Although they are friends, one is still the master and the other is a servant. Forgetfulness of this relationship by the atomic soul is a cause of one's changing his position from one tree to another, or from one body to another. The Jiva soul is struggling very hard on the tree of the material body, but as soon as he agrees to accept the other bird as a supreme spiritual master, as Arjuna agreed to do by voluntary surrender unto Krishna for instruction, the subordinate bird immediately becomes free from all lamentations. Both the Mundaka Upanishad and Shvetashvatara Upanishad confirm this. Samane vrikshe purusho nimagno anishaya shochati muhyamanaha. Jushtam yada pashyati anyamisham asya mahimanam iti vita shokaha. Although the two birds are in the same tree, the eating bird is fully engrossed with anxiety and moroseness as the enjoyer of the fruits of the tree. But if in some way or other he turns his face to his friend, the Lord, and knows his glories, at once the suffering bird becomes free from all anxieties. Arjuna has now turned his face towards his eternal friend Krishna and is understanding the Bhagavad Gita from him. And thus, hearing from Krishna, he can understand the supreme glories of the Lord and be free from lamentation. Arjuna is advised herewith by the Lord not to lament for the bodily change of his old grandfather and his teacher. He should rather be happy to kill their bodies in the righteous fight so that they may be cleansed at once of all reactions from various bodily activities. One who lays down his life on the sacrificial altar or in the proper battlefield is at once cleansed of bodily reactions and promoted to a higher status of life. So there was no cause for Arjuna's lamentation. Hare Krishna. So as we see, the theme of transmigration and reincarnation is going on. Krishna is teaching how the body is temporary and the soul is permanent. The body is always changing, whereas the soul is changeless. This is the theme being discussed in the current series of verses. So in this verse, Vasamsi Jirnani Yatha Vihaya. Vas is also called dress. Just like we put on dresses every day. At the end of the day, we change. The dress gets bad, soiled. We put it for washing, put on a new dress. Similarly, Krishna says, Vasamsi Jirnani. कपड़े जब जीर्ण हो जाते हैं, खराब हो जाते हैं, यथा विहाय, just as we give up, नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि, we take up new dress, नवानि गृह्णाति. तथा, similarly, शरीराणि यथा तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि. Similarly, when the body gets jirna, old and useless, then navani grinati anyani sanyadi navani dehi. The soul accepts a new body. So this simple principle of soul changing the body and accepting new body, Krishna is explaining with a simple example. Just as we change dress, we change body. The body is like a dress. Although the example is so simple, people find it so difficult to accept this, to understand this. Right? Most people today don't believe in the principle of reincarnation. If you tell them After death, you take up a new body and you don't die. People have a hard time understanding this, believing in this. इसको किसने देखा है? Who has seen this? You don't need to see things every time in order to believe in things. So the example is so clear. You change the dress, similarly you change the body. And if we understand Krishna's supreme position, Krishna's divinity, then you don't need a proof every time. There are so many things in this world we accept without proof, just because some authority has said it. We believe every day, we hear news, we hear television, we read the newspapers, we hear on the internet, so many things we hear. We don't challenge them, we don't question, where is the proof? Where is the proof? Where is the proof? सुन लिया, स्वीकार कर लिया, है कि नहीं? उसी प्रकार गीता is telling something, we can just accept it because Krishna is saying this. No ordinary person is saying this. So here in the purport, Prabhupada talks about two birds sitting on a tree. The two birds look similar, but they are different. One bird is enjoying the fruits of the tree. The tree has a lot of fruits. Imagine a mango tree. Lot of fruits. Some fruits are khatta, some are meetha, some fruits are kadwa. So the bird is looking for meetha fruits all the time. So he eats one fruit and he finds it, wow, very sweet mango, very tasty. And he enjoyed life. Life is so nice for the bird. Then he goes to another mango and he bites it. That is also very nice, very sweet mango. Life is really nice. Another mango, that is also nice. Then another mango, that is khatta fruit. Life is not so good. Very bad life. Another mango, that's kadwa fruit. Or tasteless fruit. कुछ है ही नहीं उसमें रस. So initially he enjoyed life, but then where are the meetha fruit? Then suddenly he gets a meetha fruit after several attempts. Then he feels, life is not so bad. Life is good. So in this way, he keeps on eating various fruits, hoping to find a sweet fruit all the time. Desperate to find a sweet fruit. But unfortunately, he doesn't get sweet fruits all the time. It's a mixture. Khatta, meetha, kadwa. So this is one bird sitting on the tree. On the same tree, there is another bird. That bird is not busy enjoying the fruit. That bird is not trying to enjoy the fruits, khatta, meetha fruits. He is simply sitting there. Sitting there and watching this bird. ये कर क्या रहा है? And this bird, second bird, is waiting. When will this first bird turn to me for guidance? But the first bird is busy. He doesn't even realize कि बगल में there is one more bird. My friend, who is my well-wisher, best well-wisher, and who can solve all my problems. The first bird is thinking the goal of life is simply to enjoy meetha fruits. But he doesn't know that life means you will get all kinds of fruits. If you really want meetha fruit, then the solution is different. You have to turn to the second bird and seek guidance. Ask questions and seek guidance. So, Prabhupada, our Upanishads compare, the first bird is all of us. The tree is the body. Body is like the tree. And we are going around in this life trying to enjoy sweet fruits. So life gives us many experiences. Some experiences are really good. Good friends, good food, good music, good relationships. Life is really good. But then after some time, something turns bad. Your health turns bad, your relationships get bad, your experiences, you may lose your job, you may change your job, you may lose money. So many things happen in life. COVID happens, some calamity happens, war happens, tsunami, earthquakes. These are not meetha fruits. They're very kadva and khatta fruits. But then we are hoping, when will things become normal? When will everything become sweet? And after several long time, again some things may become sweet. And then we forget all miseries. And then we are enjoying life. Again something happens. Again khatta meetha. So whole life goes like this. In this mixture of experiences, of all kinds of experiences. But we are hungry for constant meetha fruit. So if someone tells him, oh, life is really bad, then he will start speaking philosophy. He will advise others. Oh, life is like that only. It's always khatta meetha. Dukh ke bina sukh ka anand kaise lenge hum? That's the justification given to explain dukh and miseries. But it is not true. You don't need to suffer miserable conditions in order to enjoy life. But then we resign to the fact that there is no other option. But we never turn to the second bird. Who is the second bird? The super soul, Paramatma, with an expansion of Krishna. And the Paramatma is eagerly waiting. When will he come to me, turn to me for guidance? But we are too busy. We don't even know there is a Paramatma sitting next to us. Forget about turning to him and asking for solutions. So in this way, we go through various experiences. But in this shloka, Vasamsi Jirnani, Yatha Vihaya, this shloka says, every ending has a beginning. So body appears to end, or the life appears to end, but that end is not permanent end. Only the body is ending. And as soon as the body ends, you begin a new chapter of life. New beginning. Like the day ends, it leads to new day. The month ends, new month. Year ends, new year. Century ends, a new century, new millennium, new yuga. Everything, no end is permanent end. It begins something new. Similarly, the end of body is not permanent. It says simply, it is a temporary pause. And then we take on a new body. So what is our destination after departure? Krishna explains in the 8th chapter. Jai Shri Radha Gopinath, Bhagavan ki jai. In the 8th chapter, Krishna describes how we pass away, how we die decides our destination. So yogis in general, it is said that when someone dies, the soul passes out of the body through any of the holes. We have 9 holes, Navadwar, 9 holes in the body. If someone passes out of the body through the upper holes, face, ears, eyes, nose, then the destination is auspicious. Higher destinations of a life. If someone passes through the lower holes of the body, then the destination is inauspicious. So if a yogi, someone who is practicing yoga, Ashtanga yoga especially, he has some control over how he passes away. He can decide from which hole I have to pass out. So the practice of yoga trains you So usually the yogis try to leave the body through the upper holes. In this way, I reach you to higher destinations, heavenly regions, and other higher destinations. But most people don't have any control. They don't have control how to pass away. They are like helplessly dying. Hai ki nahi? We don't even know when we will fall sick. When we fall sick, when we are in the hospital, we have no control of any function of the body. Then where can we decide? How can we decide how to pass out of the body? So if they happen to pass out of the higher holes, then they may reach higher destination. But usually it is described a person who has lived a sinful life, inauspicious life, they will pass through the lower holes of the body, which means they will reach hellish destinations, or their next life will be really miserable. So Krishna says in the 8th chapter, anyone who passes out of the body through in the daytime, in the Shukla Paksha, during Uttarayan time, then he reaches a certain destination. If someone passes away in night time, during Krishna Paksha, during Dakshinayan period, then he reaches another destination. So the time of departure is important, at least for a yogi. Which time of the day, which time of the year, which time of the month, that decides your destination. But most people have no control over the passing, and they are like helplessly resigned to nature's laws. But in the same chapter, Krishna says, for a devotee, anyone who is surrendered to Krishna, practicing bhakti yoga, such a person doesn't have to worry, अरे कौन सा time में मेरी मृत्यु होने वाली है, because he leaves everything in Krishna's hands. And for such a person, Krishna decides the destination. Even if he passes at an apparently inauspicious time, still he can reach higher destination. So in this way, the departure time is described in the Bhagavad Gita. So what is the body we are going to get? Next body. It depends on our desires. So body is like a dress, we saw. Vasam si jirnani yatha vihaya. So we get a new dress based on our desires. And we are dressed for our desires, we are dressed by our desires. So the new body depends on whichever unfulfilled desires we have. The new body will facilitate fulfillment of those desires. And the new body depends on what desires we have cultivated in this life. So dressed for our desires means what? Suppose we have some dominant desire in this life. I want to, for example, I want to eat something. Say I want to eat flesh. Lot of animal flesh, for example. So then our scriptures explain that this body is not exactly designed for eating flesh. Although many people eat flesh, but the body is not exactly, human body is not exactly suitable for human eating flesh. But if someone has an excessive desire and he utilizes his body for eating flesh, then material nature says, okay, you have this desire, we will give you a body which will facilitate fulfillment of this desire. That's your desire, right? We are here to help you. Take up a different body where you can unrestrictedly, freely, without any social inhibitions, enjoy eating flesh. So accordingly, we get a new body. A body of a carnivorous animal, something like that. If someone has cultivated some other desire, say, Excessive sleeping. We usually sleep 6-7 hours in a day or 8 hours maximum. But someone wants to sleep say 10-15 hours. The human body is not meant for that. Human body is meant for some higher purpose, not just sleep all day. Right? So, okay, you have a desire to sleep. This body is not the right body for sleeping. Take up another body where you can sleep days together, months together, without disturbance. Like you see these animals in polar regions, polar bears and all, that kind of hibernation. They go into hibernation 6 months. So there are some examples how nature, material nature, is programmed to give us new bodies. This is a big science. It's not simply fiction, myth that is given in scriptures. What desires we cultivate, every choice we make, every desire we desire is creating in the background a new body. Therefore, we have to be careful how we desire, what we desire. And all these cumulative desires throughout the life that we have accumulated at the end of life, at the time of death, is now that thing will decide. This is the final thing, report card. Then they will do a programming. Algorithm is ready here. This equation leads to this body. Take it, enjoy. That's how it functions. So now someone may say at the end of life, I will choose how to desire, what to desire. That doesn't work like that. Our thoughts at the time of death depends on what all thoughts we have cultivated throughout our life. So right from childhood, the moment we are born, the moment we grow old, school days, college days, young, youth, middle age, old age, every time we are desiring something, we are making choices based on our desires. But unfortunately, we are not told every desire has an impact on your next life. We think, oh, ठीक है यार, कौन देखा है, किसने देखा है, मजा करो अभी, और जो होगा देखा जाएगा बाद में. देखा जाएगा, देखना ही पड़ेगा जबरदस्ती. You have no option later to change the choice. Now we have the choice to change our destiny. So every moment we are making choices, we are desiring, and it will have an impact. So life is essentially, the Gita is essentially talking about desire management, because your desires decide your destiny. If we know how to manage our desires, purify our desires, cultivate the right desires, then an auspicious destination is awaiting us. But if we fail to manage our desires, allow our desires to go anywhere, everywhere, especially desire the wrong things, harmful things, destructive things, then something else is awaiting us. So therefore, we have to be careful. A really serious spiritual seeker, spiritually serious person, monitors one's desires. Where is my mind going? Where is it running? If it is running towards the wrong direction, we have to pull it back, change it towards the right things. If our mind is demanding wrong things, if you are desiring wrong things, we should understand it's a risky thing. Let me change my desires. Let me adopt a process by which I can purify this desire and start desiring for better things. Now, from where do we get these desires? It depends on all the propaganda. Anything we interact with, anything we see, anything we hear, we watch, we eat, whom we associate with, everything has an impact on our desires. If I walk on the road and I see a billboard and I see some advertisement, the advertisements are meant to give you desires. Suppose there is an advertisement of a phone, iPhone. You may not be having an iPhone. So when you see an ad, the purpose of the ad is to give you a desire to purchase the iPhone. Or you see a new house. So when you look at that house, you may think, oh, I have a very small one-room kitchen house. This house has 3 BHK house. New desire, right? So the desire is there. Then you start working towards the desire, fulfilling the desires. So one day, you may be successful in fulfilling the desire. So anything we see, any advertisement on phone, on television, on YouTube, they are always bombarding us with advertisements. So that people who don't have those things, they develop the desire to get those things. Now, some things, some ads may not be the right things. They may be promoting something wrong, destructive. You may see a cigarette ad, Foursquare, and other things. Then we desire. Certain movies, we don't know what they are going to show in the movie. All kinds of nasty things they may show. But then you watch and you see those things, and then we start desiring, oh, the hero is doing this, the heroine is doing this. Let me also do this. We develop new desires. So in this way, every interaction we have, everything we see, everything we watch is creating desires. We associate with people. That Sangha, association, fuels new desires. Suppose I have friends who like football. Now I may not like football, I may like cricket. But I when associate with friends who like football, then I also start enjoying football. In their association, I like to watch football, play football. So similarly, संग जैसा संग वैसा रंग, we say, no? हिंदी में कहावत है. So संग का क्या है अब प्रभाव हमारे ऊपर? So if you choose friends who have a certain type of desires, we develop those desires. So if we want to change our desires, we have to look out for people who are cultivating that type of desire. So therefore, Gita is teaching us desire management, which is a very important thing. Not recklessly allowing our minds to desire anything in the name of freedom of expression and speech. Today it is becoming popular, right? Freedom. I want freedom. Freedom to do anything, desire anything. That kind of freedom is ultimately destructive. Gita doesn't encourage that. Gita says regulate your desires. Regulation is the key, not unrestricted cultivation of desires. Yato nischalati manaschanchalam asthiram tatastato niyamyaitat atmanyeva vasham nayet. Krishna says in the 6th chapter, Yato nischalati. Wherever the mind goes, wanders here and there. That is the nature of the mind, right? Mind will go everywhere. Yato nischalati manaschanchalam asthiram. Mind is chanchal, asthir. But when the mind wanders here and there, tatastato niyamyetad atmanyeva vasham nayet. Whenever you notice your mind wandering here and there, get it back. Atmanyeva vasham nayet. If you don't do, it will go everywhere. That is risky business. So in this way, throughout our life, whatever desires we cultivate, ultimately it is tested at the time of death. What is the sum total of all desires? And then they will make a calculation, whoever the authorities are, and award us. This is the final product you have. And then we take on the new body, and then again live a life, whole life. Again we cultivate desires, again take up a new body. Tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sanyati navani dehi. In this way, the cycle continues, life after life after life after life. So there's a nice story in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is an interaction between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and one of his devotees called Srivas Thakur. This is in Navadvip, Mayapur, 500 years ago. So Lord Chaitanya used to perform Sankirtan, Harinam Sankirtan with his devotees at Srivas Thakur's house. So a lot of people, his close associates would come together and they would perform Kirtan for several hours. Then they started feeling, why should we waste our time in the night? Let us do Sankirtan even in the night. Sleep is a waste of time. Let us do Kirtan and enjoy. So they would give up sleep and simply they would chant and dance throughout the night. So one day, when they were dancing and chanting and enjoying, so Srivas Thakur had a son. So he had some sickness and he died inside the house. And this Kirtan is happening in the main hall outside. And the child was inside the bedroom with his mother and other relatives. And the child died. So everyone inside, they started crying. The child died. But here Kirtan is going on. Lord Chaitanya, Nityanand Prabhu, the Panchatattva, everyone is dancing and enjoying. So Srivas Thakur immediately went inside and said, please don't disturb. Let the Lord enjoy his Kirtan. You please control your crying. So they said, okay. And Srivas Thakur came back and he didn't inform Lord Chaitanya and anyone that the child passed away. So Kirtan continued and next early morning the Kirtan stopped and Lord Chaitanya said, something is not right today. Kuch to gadbad hai. Has something happened here? So then the devotees informed Lord Chaitanya that this boy died. Small child. So Lord Chaitanya said, but why didn't you inform me? You should have informed me. So no one said anything. Srivas Thakur said, no, as long as you are here in the house, you are dancing, chanting Krishna's holy names, there is nothing inauspicious. This is the most auspicious thing. And the child is so fortunate that he passed away listening to Krishna's holy names at the time of death. What can be a bigger fortune than this? So there is nothing. Everything is okay. But Lord Chaitanya was not happy. So he went inside the bedroom and he saw the dead child lying there. And he told the child, get up, O child. Why did you leave your father's house? So what happened? The child woke up and sat down, reviving from the dead. So the Lord Chaitanya asked, why did he leave? So what did he say? Oh my Lord, I am your eternal servant, life after life. Wherever you want me to go, I will go. You send me here, I'll go. You send me here, I'll go there. By the power of destiny and the power of your grace, your mercy, I was allowed to live in this house as the son of my mother and father for some time. That period is over. Now, by the power of destiny, I have to change. I have to accept another set of parents. I have to go to another location. So who is my relative? Are these my relative? The previous life family members? Or the new set of parents I am going to get? Are they my relatives? Everything is changing. When the time comes, we have to give up everything. We have to give up our parents, our friends, family, house, occupation, job, and the body. Everything has to be rejected, and a new set of all these things have to be accepted. So, who is permanent in this world? Nothing is permanent. So now, my Lord, the child said, please forgive me for any offense I have made, and grant me the boon that wherever you send me, I may have the association of your devotees. Now, with your permission, I will go. And the child again fell back, dead. So when everyone heard this, they were like shocked. And they gave up all lamentation and moroseness. And then they understood the temporary nature of the world, temporary nature of life. So the enlightening session. So in this way, the Gita is repeatedly talking about this. Repeatedly trying to teach us how life in this world is temporary, the body is temporary, the world is temporary. Let us not become over possessive about it. Just because life is temporary, body is temporary, doesn't mean we ignore the body. We neglect the body. That's not the point here. The point is, let us not become too attached, too possessive. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. The tendency is, we get a body, we become attached to the body. Anything in connection with the body, we want to possess that. And then in connection with those things, we want to possess that. So my body, my family, my possessions, my car, my phone, my objects, my reputation, my prestige, my degrees, my children, and then their friends, and then their friends. My. The my boundary expands. Anything. I am the center. I am in the center. And everything is revolving around me. That's called Janasya Moha. I am aham mameti. We expand the network of illusion. It begins with a small thing and then expand. To such a degree that we think the whole world is for my enjoyment. Everything is meant for my enjoyment. I am the center. I am the enjoyer. Whereas in the Gita, Krishna says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. The whole universe is, I am the proprietor. I am the supreme enjoyer. Anyone who understands this principle, this fact, not me, but Krishna is the enjoyer, the proprietor and the controller of everything. Gyatva mam shantim rachati. Such a person attains real peace and happiness. The center has to shift from me as a center to God as a center. The shift in attitude, shift in consciousness is what will award us real peace. So in this way, the Gita talks about temporary nature. So do we want to become slave of our body? Just as slaves, all these slaves in Second World War and other times, Russia and other European countries, they were slaves. So slaves are like bonded labor. You capture them, you have to give them no freedom, and then they become your servants. Similarly, we are forced to labor hard to fulfill the demands of the body. The body makes us into a slave. Every time the body will demand this. And we keep running, chasing after fulfilling those desires. We think that is the goal of life, fulfilling the demands of the body. What we don't realize is the demands of the body will never end. Every time the body keeps demanding. Kama dinam katina katida palita durnideshas. This kama vasana doesn't end at all. And it keeps going forward into the next life also. Just as slaves don't have self-respect, they are deprived of their self-respect. Similarly, if we are too attached to the body, too possessive about the body, then we lose our self-respect as our real identity as servants of Krishna. So our real identity is I am part and parcel of God, separate from the body. But if we become attached, over attached to the body, then we become bonded laborers. And then we lose our self-respect. Similarly, just as slaves are denied life's pleasures, we are denied of the real pleasures of life. So we are meant to enjoy real happiness. But someone who is attached to the body, conditioned by body's demands, such a person is restricted from enjoying the real life, real happiness. The moment we come out of body's possessiveness and we situate ourselves as spirit souls, servants of God, then we begin to understand real happiness and we begin to enjoy real happiness. So in this way, the Gita is continuing the theme of temporary nature of the soul, body, permanent nature of the soul, and how the living entity transmigrates from one body to another. This knowledge is a foundational element of Sanatana Dharma, our Vedic culture, which is not available in detail, such detail in other traditions, especially in the West. In other traditions, this information is not so, it is there, but not so clearly explained. How life after death, how afterlife happens, how we change the body, how we are awarded a new body, how we suffer the reactions. So there are so many cases of reincarnation, life after death, children remembering their past lives, and how they remember, in this life, they remember their past life. And then there are researchers who have verified it by cross-checking these things. Small girl, 5-year-old, 4-year-old, remembering, in my past life, I was the mother of so-and-so child, I was the wife of so-and-so person, and he is located in this place. They tell the name of the village, of the state, of the district, and then they go and check, is it really true? And when they go and check, it is true. And then they say, oh, yeah, my wife died few years ago. That girl is reborn now. And then this little girl remembers everything about the past life, about the family members, about certain habits, certain things, confidential things. So all these research have been done, many real life cases, not that it's just made up stories. Real life cases have been documented, and this is something established, clearly established. So we'll continue the discussion next week. Anyone has any question, comment on this? So we have a nice Gita course coming up next week, January 12, 13, 14, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It will happen in the evening, 7 to 9 p.m. And lot of nice topics covered. The basic concepts of the Gita will be covered here. How to find real happiness, the purpose of life. Can I be a good person without God? One God or many God? How to improve my relationship? How can I control my mind? All these topics will be covered. So Brajmohan Prabhu will be the speaker, and you can enroll for this course with Alpesh Prabhu, who's standing there in the corner. You can register online, or you can register it physically by paying cash, whatever way you want. So please try to enroll for this and understand deeply the subject of the Gita. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण। दो ताल से स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ ना, दो से स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ, दो से ही स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ। हाँ वो ट्यून ही ऐसा है कभी। अब टाइम है उसका आने के लिए। हरे कृष्ण। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात् देशतारिणे। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama